Once again, a forecast for the tri-state region. A day today will be windy, temperatures 40 to 45. We'll get Pat Pagano's tri-state forecast coming your way in just a few moments. So you're on the Breakfast Club on Robin Hood Radio. Taking a look at those stories that we're following for you today, Susan Hassler has been named publisher of the Lakeville Journal and Millerton News. Later on this morning, during our Lakeville Journal segment, Lakeville Journal This Week, we'll be talking with the current publisher, Janet Manco, about the story. Hassler is a longtime magazine editor and resident of Sharon, appointed chief executive of the Lakeville Journal Foundation and publisher of the Lakeville Journal and Millerton News. She succeeds Janet Manco, who for more than 25 years has been the mainstay of the two newspapers, serving as editor-in-chief and publisher. Hassler has been a full-time resident of Sharon since 2004, and with her husband, Bob Maxwell, raised two boys who attended preschool in the region, followed by Indian Mountain School. Hassler currently serves as vice president of the Board of Trustees of the Hotchkiss Library in Sharon and is a member of the Salisbury Congregational Church. North Canaan has set a vote on the November ballot. Citing a lack of public consensus on the issue of commercial cannabis, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted at its regular meeting on Tuesday, January 17th, to add a question to the ballot for the November 2023 election. To facilitate the decision, existing cannabis moratorium was extended for 1 year beyond its impending expiration date in February of 2023. Jennifer Dillon, a member of the Sharon Land Trust Board for over 3 years, recently was elected president. Dillon has firsthand experience observing a rapid development of small towns brought on by increased demand for large tracts of land. Having resided in Sharon for more than 20 years, Dillon has a commitment to the town and to the Sharon Land Trust interest in observing and preserving acreage to benefit natural world and communities' rural character for residents present and in the future. Noble Horizons, a full-service senior living community in Salisbury, has announced the addition to its rehabilitation team a full-time speech therapist, Andrea Gamble. Gamble is well known throughout the area, where she's worked for the past 18 years in skilled nursing, outpatient, and home care. Gamble will be serving clients from the community through Noble's outpatient rehab center, in addition to supporting Noble Horizons inpatient and short-term rehabilitation residents. In Pine Plains, residents showed up in good numbers on Saturday at the community room at the Pine Plains Library to state concerns and their largely overwhelming opposition to a proposed 10-megawatt community solar project at Pulver's Corners. More than 60 people attended a 2.5-hour planning board public hearing to hear about the project from the project sponsor, Carson Power of New York City, and to ask questions and lodge testimonies before town officials. Andrew Gordon, a representative of Carson Power, began the hearing with a presentation of the project. The company proposes to install a 43-acre solar farm comprising of 24,000 panels on 171 acres of agricultural and forested land located at 454 Bean River Road. In Connecticut, ratification votes Wednesday in the House and Senate granted a state police a contract and a proxy for renewing debate over contentious police accountability law. The 4-year, $70 million labor agreement sailed through both chambers of the General Assembly with overwhelming bipartisan major ties. Following a 40-0 vote in the Appropriations Committee, the contract will provide a 2.5% general wage increase for each of the first 3 years and a reopener agreement for the final year. Only Senator Robert C. Sampson and Representative Gail Mastrofsky-Ano, two Wolcott Republicans, voted against the contract based on additional cost to taxpayers. A chef in Litchfield County has been nominated as a semifinalist for the prestigious James Beard Award. Christian Hunter, chef at the Community Table in Washington, Connecticut, earned the nomination, joining other Connecticut chefs in the running for one of these prized awards. Renee Topinians, chef at the Port of Call in Mystic, is the other state chef recognized. Cora Cora, a restaurant in West Hartford, is the lone state entry in the category of Outstanding Restaurant. The James Beard Foundation's Restaurant and Chef Awards, established in 1990, first awarded in 1991, named winners across 23 different categories. The winners will be announced on March 29th. Only 2 Connecticut restaurants have achieved this honor: Shady Glen in Manchester back in 2012 and Frank Pepe Pizzeria Napoleana in New Haven in 1999. Crescendo was recently awarded an $8,700 Connecticut Cultural Fund Operating Support Grant from the Connecticut Humanities Cultural Fund. Operating Support Grant assists organizations they recover from the pandemic and maintain to grow their ability to serve the community and the public. The grant will be used to support Crescendo's mission of presenting concerts in Northwest Connecticut and surrounding counties of Massachusetts and New York. It will enable Crescendo to hire more musicians for their ambitious season of 6 self-produced concert projects that are coming up. Crescendo was one of 725 organizations in Connecticut receiving that Cultural Fund operating support, which totaled more than $8.5 million. Taking a look at some other stories we're following for you here on the Breakfast Club on Robin Hood Radio. Taking a look at some activities which are going on in and around our region for this weekend. Actually, coming up, the first one will happen, and that is the Taconic Range Trouting Bee, which will be held today from 1 o'clock on at the Taconic Range Hall, 7 Dunbar Road. You'll learn how to harness natural microbes and transmit fresh cabbage into delicious, nutritious sauerkraut. For more information, you can call 860-364-5373. The January Super Supper has been sold out. It will be held this Friday once again. It is held, and it's sponsored this month by Noble Horizons. Soup, bread, cheese, and some fruit, cookie, and brownie are served free of charge. Delivery is available for homes and workplaces. Pickup is at Salisbury Congregational Church, Library Street side door from 3 till 5 p.m. Coming up tomorrow, Owls Amongst Us. That will happen from 7 to 8:15 at the Sharon Audubon Center, sharon.audubon.org. And in January and February, the D.M. Hunt Library is hosting an art exhibition, Birds of the World, featuring the emerging artists of the Lee H. Kellogg School. The opening reception will be held tomorrow from 11 till noon. The exhibit will remain on display through March the 3rd. Our business brief is underwritten by Morgan's at the Interlaken, featuring a regular menu, a tapas menu, and dinner specials nightly, interlakenin.com. You'll find them on Facebook and Instagram, and by Salisbury Bank, salisburybank.com. Dow Jones Industrial Average will start off the day today at 33,813.05, the S&P 500 at 4,030.44, and the NASDAQ at 11,869.36. We'll take a look at that tri-state forecast. That'll come your way in just a few moments here on the Breakfast Club on Robin Hood Radio.